make a pitch for the Emeryville and support it for it. I won't repeat any of that stuff, but a question to staffers and Jeff and Douglas who might know what's going on. Do we have a really well-organized pitch to Alameda County for funds that are available there to support both operations and capital investments for the Emeryville round? Has that been organized? Are we underway on that? Are we making progress on putting that all together?
Do you want to answer?
Sure. Well, just to clarify, so there hasn't been any, the way that Measure BB was written,
Right.
it includes the word shuttle as a potential that could be funded out of this one pot of money. It doesn't specify that there will be a call for specifically for shuttles, but it just makes it so that shuttles may be eligible in the future when they actually put out a call. We've been working with our lobbyist and also talking to some other interested parties in other cities, namely, so there's some people in Oakland who are very interested in funding like the Broadway shuttle, for example. Ruth, or the mayor,
Of
is
course.
actually the one who
She's
sits
the
on
key one on
ACTC
the,
for us, and so
county
staffing her in a way where we don't want to wait necessarily until, you know, in the event that there's going to be some call for shuttles, we want to work with some of the key players who will push so that there is a call and have it come out sooner than later. So the answer is there's nothing specific yet. It's on everybody's radar, and we're pushing as hard as we can at this point. We've met with the TMA to try to come up with a very succinct, you got to know exactly what you're asking for also, right? So we're looking at grant opportunities. We're going to DC in, when are we going? February. And the Emeryville round is on the list of items that we're going to be talking to our federal legislators about. So, you know, it's out there. Do we have anything at this point that we can say we've gotten? No. You may have some more that you want to say about that.
Yeah, well, before Measure BB came into place, I went to the BPOA, Howard Stewart, and we went down there and we threatened them with a competing ballot measure. And they changed the funding to make it possible to fund the Emery round, and some of those members were willing to make some basic commitments to funding. So that's certainly going, and he's on retainer right now. And I'd say it looks pretty good. The guy who used to handle the distribution of all the funds for the county is now working for the Emery round, and nobody would be more familiar than he would as far as how to get the money for Emeryville. So we have to develop the criteria for it, and we should be proactive about doing it. And then I think we can get $2 million a year from we're giving them $7 million, so getting $2 million back is not much to ask for. So.
Okay, thanks.
Joe,
Very helpful.
With the campaign for BB, we had a major event, a fundraising event in Emeryville, hosted by Wareham Development and jointly by Wareham Development and by the building trades, who had obviously great interest in it. And at that, the top staff people were there, and they had great praise for our incoming mayor and her making everybody on that commission aware of the need. And she is well respected, and at that, both Ruth and Laurie Capitelli, who is the representative from Berkeley, and Laurie and others that I've spoken with in other communities, both Oakland, San Leandro, for instance, and even out in Livermore, have the highest praise for Ruth Atkin in her commitment to this and how she has made the entire group aware of the needs and the value of transportation methods like the Emeryville round. So one of the things that we need to always remind ourselves is that when we evaluate members of city council, in my opinion, it's not enough just to see how they vote from that dais up there, because oftentimes their greatest influence is their relationships with other members of city governments in the county and their service on these regional boards, where they really represent our community, and we can benefit terrifically from their efforts in that regard. So I think that, honestly, Bill, we're really well positioned.
That sounds very good. Thanks for the comments.
Bill, if I could follow up on what John said, he's absolutely right. Ruth Atkin really did a wonderful job about pushing this idea of this shuttle to the transportation agency. She's a senior member of the agency. She's very well respected. But I think we have to keep in mind that early is better to get in there. And I'm just throwing out a question. We should be able to leverage the respect that she's accorded and the way people listen to her. It might be an idea to have a formal letter from the council directing her as the representative of the council to the agency to focus on this shuttle and to see if some action steps can be taken to start now working that into the pro forma on it. So we have she's a tremendous asset to this city, but we should take advantage of it, not just sit back. Let's be proactive, let's get the ball rolling. And if you have a formal statement from the council talking about how important this is, not just to Emeryville, but also to Oakland and Berkeley.
It might be good to ask Niccolo DeLuca Townsend, who is the city's lobbyist, what he thinks would be really effective. What tool would be helpful to him? Would it be a formal resolution?
Well, no, I'm focusing on the Alameda County
Sure.
transportation.
Oh, my.
And so I think we should really take a look at that.
Is there value to getting, someone from Oakland, from Lynette's office or from Libby's office to say, this is important to us, somebody from Berkeley to say, we're using the shuttle as well, like, I think Nora makes a really good point, like, let's move
Early
this
is
forward.
better.
And would it be helpful to have it not only for Ruth to represent, but like, look, this is important because we have this wonderful shuttle, but also there's a free shuttle in Oakland, there's shuttle service in Berkeley. This community could really benefit from your willingness to move this process forward.
Because in the overall picture of the funding for Measure B, we're just talking about a little tin cup here.
Right.
But it can make a substantial, significant amount of difference. Let's get the water dripping on the stone and keep it going.
So yeah, back to Bill's original point, I guess between Jeff and Sabrina, Ken mentioned 2 million. Is there a number that Emery go around once, and then do we start packaging everyone behind that, or there's still that number hasn't been resolved?
Well, we're going through the process with the TMA actually right now because there's several prongs to it. We have the PBID, which is up for renewal, that we're going to restructure. We're working with the assessment engineer over the last several months to come up with exactly how that would be structured. So I don't have a number off the top of my head right now, but our office has been working closely with the TMA to come up with exactly what the need is, how much of that can be legally and for other reasons covered by the PBID, and then after that, what is that delta?
Okay.
And so, order of magnitude, it's probably, I would say $1 million to $2 million. We're not talking about huge amounts of money. The bigger, the strategic conversation around the DB money, I will share it with you. When I talk to other city managers, and it's not just Oakland, because I think we are a lot more aligned with Oakland, not as much maybe with Berkeley, on this specific issue. But I'm talking about the Livermores or the, even the San Leandros or other cities in the county who have asked us about the Emery go-round as an example. And I think we have to be very strategic about, how that RFP and how that call for grants actually, or for funding goes out. How narrow is it going to be?
You don't want to get other people to fund brand new service as much as.
Well, I don't know the answer to it. I'm just saying, you know, they gotta be very strategic about it, because the overall pot of money that, that we're talking about here, it's not that much, the category that it's in. It's 300 million, which is not a whole lot of money when you look at all the other things that are included in that category. So I think we have to just be very careful, but you wanna have, you know, if you've got more pressure from more cities, then maybe the call goes out sooner. So that we're working, I think, in a way where I think we're trying to align with Oakland as much as we can, because we know there's the Broadway shuttle. We know Rebecca Kaplan has also been on the commission for a long time. And they do have an interest in the new council president's office in Oakland in expanding the Emery go-round. So.
Well, and also, you know, as part of the conversation, to always incorporate the EVOT study, since it's almost done, to make sure that, you know, like, probably the long-term concepts in the EVOT study are, really don't align with what we're talking about here, but the short and medium term certainly do. So you don't want to be like, okay, well, the Emery go-round, it's like, sort of wrap your arms around the whole thing, and then you get more leverage in more ways.
And then to follow up on Nora's comment, I think it's a point well taken, and so I'll draft something for us and have it come from
I'd
the
like to
full
see that.
council.
That sounds
As
good.
soon as possible
Yeah.
on the agenda.
Yeah, I'll put that out there.
I just think we have to be careful not to get ourselves out ahead of what's happening, because we could invite backlash, and we don't want to sabotage the efforts of our mayor, who's deeply involved in this, and others. I mean, we have to, of course, we want to keep pressure on, we want to bring it fast, but we also want to do it with a spirit of cooperation and collaboration.
All right.